Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be the seller and I'm going to be asking Bridgette questions about what we can do to benefit our home right before we list it for sale. So let's go ahead and get started with, what do you think are the best things that we can do or simple things that we can do to our home to set it up?
Okay, it's a great question. You want to make your home super attractive. You want to be the best looking home on the block so that if every house on the block went up for sale, yours would be the one that stood out. That's not really a problem right now in today's market, but you should still prepare it that way so you can get top dollar. You want to drive a buyer's competition to your home so you can get the most money out of it possible. We'll go over a couple simple ways to do that without breaking the bank. You don't need to spend a fortune renovating your kitchen before you sell. Please don't do that. That would be wasteful. So if it's winter, don't plant flowers, right? But you do want to make sure that your sidewalks stay shoveled and that the driveway is clear and that when people walk into your home, they're not tracking mud in. When they walk into your home, they're visualizing this home is their home. So if you can do a good job of laying out a welcome mat and a coat rack so that they feel like, oh, this place has space for me to walk in and put my things down, that feel alone is going to help that buyer feel at home and want to give you an offer on your home. If it's summer months or spring, simple curb appeal ideas, start outside. Put fresh laid mulch down on your flower beds. If you've got weeds, cover those babies up, put down some plastic mat, put mulch on top and keep the weeds at bay, and plant some nice flowers on top. Pansies are super cheap and they bring a lot of color to your home and help it pop right off the bat. Secondly, you want to wash the face of your house. Spray it down with the hose. Make sure you don't have dust. There's no mud left on your storm doors. Your light fixtures look nice and that they're shining brightly. Another thing you can do to make your home super appealing right off the bat is to make sure that it smells good before a showing. It's silly, and it's subconscious. People aren't going to walk in and notice the smell usually unless there's a bad smell. So make sure it smells good. Febreze your home. You can use plugins in the walls. One of my favorite things to do actually is to pour a bottle of imitation vanilla into a glass dish and put it in the oven on low and just let it go all day because it makes your house smell like fresh baked cookies. It's amazing and it makes people fall in love with your home the moment they walk in without even realizing why. Some other really simple things you can do to help make your home more attractive. Take down extra window coverings that are blocking light. Some people like darker rooms, but you want your home to feel light and open. So take down window coverings, wash your windows so that all of the dust and grime comes off. You'll be surprised how much light that actually lets into your home. You can also take the screens out of your windows. Now be careful not to damage them because that'll be something that'll come up in an appraisal or a home inspection as something that'll need to be repaired. So make sure when you take them out that they're in good repair and you put them somewhere safe in the garage or near the furnace or something just so that they're safe and ready to be reinstalled. Another thing you can do is go through your house and make sure that all of your bulbs are the same. Make sure that you don't have yellow bulbs and white bulbs, but that they're all the same ambient light and that they're all working so that the home is bright and light when people come into it. A lot of people think that they need to rip out the kitchen and put in stone countertops and new cabinets and new hardware and new appliances, and that is just false. You don't need to spend a fortune, and most people have an idea about what they want in their kitchen anyway. It would be much more beneficial to leave it alone and give it a good scrub, make sure it's clean, maybe paint. You can paint your cabinetry. If you need to make the space look bigger, you make it a lighter color. If the space is too big and it's echoey, maybe adding some neutral tones or really dark, deep earth tones, that's a good thing. You can change the hardware on your cabinets to help it get a more modern look. If you have knobs on there from the 70s, that's definitely worthwhile. People will replace the stove. If it's an older one, you can actually buy a used stove for fairly cheap that might be an upgrade to what's already in the kitchen, and it'll really bring your kitchen into a more modern feel. One of the big things that you can do that's not going to cost you anything at all is just declutter and depersonalize. So you'll want to take down all of the photographs that are of you and your kids. You can leave up artwork that's not anyone's face that you know. And artwork can really bring the space alive. So don't devalue art. Definitely worth keeping as long as it's not overwhelming a space. But declutter everything, including your cabinets and your closets, because people they will open the hallway closet and see that it's crammed full of games and towels and blankets, and they will think that the space is too small for them. So if you can declutter that and only have in there what you need from now until the time you sell, that will help quite a bit as well. So right before someone comes to look at your home for a showing, make sure that it is in welcome condition, like you were going to have a dinner party. You want people to feel welcome when they walk in the home, and make sure that those party spaces, like your dining room, your living room, those kinds of places, look and feel inviting. If you need some ideas about how to make the space more comfortable or more appealing to people, definitely check out Pinterest and designer magazines for home design for some ideas. Make those spaces really warm and comfortable and inviting for people. Another thing that people think that they need to do when preparing to sell their home is they got to replace the shower or the tub or redo the tile. You really probably don't need to. You might be able to get away with scraping off the grout if it's gray or dingy or yucky. Get rid of that. Definitely scrub off hard water stains, but just getting it really clean may be enough to do the trick. You can cheaply replace a vanity a lot of times, or even just the mirror on the wall can be replaced for a nice upgrade. Again, changing out the light bulbs can do wonders for the space. Having a nice set of towels in there that you plan to take to the new home, that would be beneficial in there. Make sure that they smell good, definitely. And if worse comes to worse, you can always reglaze a toilet and a tub. It's kind of like painting it, but it's specific for the type of material your tub and toilet are made of. And recently I've seen people doing shower inserts right over the top of an old tub and shower it's like a cover that goes over them, and it makes it look brand new, like a marble surround.
Alrighty, thank you for sharing those with us. I know that a lot of this stuff is stuff that even I have sold houses and I don't even think of. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a quick recap. I took some notes while she was sharing these tips. Now I'm going to share them with you guys. So first thing I got written down is be the best looking on the block. Doesn't matter the time of the year. If it's spring, throw some flowers out there, redo your mulch, de-weed your yard, make sure it's mowed, make it look good when they pull up. Nobody wants to pull up to a house that's not inviting. Another thing is, on any of this, don't waste time. Don't do stuff that's not important. Don't be planting flowers in winter like she said. Little things like that. Visualize yourself as the seller and put yourself in their shoes. So pull up to your house and see what type of things they're going to notice. Walk into the front door and take a look with their point of view and look at things that you wouldn't normally look at. Don't walk in and just immediately take your shoes off and go to your room, right? Like walk in, look around, look up in the corners, dust corners, dust
bunnies.
Dust everything. Just clean everything, like she said. Wash the house, which ties us into washing the house. You can take just as simple as a garden hose and put your thumb on the end of it and spray off your windows and wipe them down with a little glass cleaner and make it look a lot brighter from the inside of your house and outside. Mm-hmm. If there's dust and dirt and grime all over your windows, your house doesn't have that shine or that pop to it off the block and the curb appeal that we're talking about. Make the house smell good. And with this, like we heard her say, get kind of creative. Do different things, different smells that you'll like, but make it not overwhelming. Don't make someone walk in and be like, whoa, did you burn something in here, right?
Yes.
If you like burnt stuff, that's great, but leave it for another time. Make it something inviting. Make it something like that either makes you hungry or feel like you're at home. Remove excessive window coverings and screens. So like I myself like blinds all over the house. If you have blinds, pull them up, open them up, dust them off, make sure that it looks good. It'll go a long way when somebody goes to look out the window and all the little grime and dust is gone from the window sill and all that. If it looks really nice, it's going to look really nice. I know that when you're going through your house, make sure that all your lights are the same lighting. So you've got like 3500, 4500, 5000 Kelvin. Make sure that they all at least look similar. You don't want a yellow light with a white light with a blue light all in the rooms next to each other. Not only does it not look appealing, but when you walk from one room to the other room,
it's disorienting in the mood, and it's confusing for buyers without
it changes the focus without doing it. That's why people change the lighting in certain settings, is because it changes the mood like that. And so Don't do that by mistake. Clean the kitchen. I know for me, when in looking for a home, a kitchen is a big thing that I look at because that's where you spend a lot of your time. Make sure it's clean and declutter it. I get it. We're all gonna have stuff on our counters, in our kitchens, things like that. But like she said, if you can't live without it, you don't need it right there while you're selling a home. Declutter it as much as possible. Not only will it make it feel bigger, but they can see what they would have there instead of what you have there. So for example, if I have an ice machine on the counter that takes up the whole counter, somebody's gonna see a taken up counter. If I have a whole open counter, somebody's going to say, oh, I could put my mixer here, or I could cook right here, or, whatever. Let their mind do the thinking. Just make sure it's clean for them to do so. Add some paint to change it up, whether that be ceiling paint, wall paint, exterior paint, trim paint, whatever it is. A little paint can really go a long way, and you don't have to do the whole entire house. Right. You can do just the ceilings, you can do just the walls, you can do just the trim. Change it up a little bit. Make it neutral, make it a little brighter in here. Some people like darker colors. I like darker colors, but apparently it makes it feel smaller in here, and I really notice it when I go from a dark room to a light room. So if you have a small room, maybe considering painting it white to make it feel a little bigger so that the buyer can think they'll have more space to use it for. Cabinet hardware, whether this be in the bathroom, in the kitchen, in hallway closets, the hardware is not very expensive, and if you want to go through and change it out, and another great place to look for that stuff is on Amazon. I order bags of them, 15 of them for $25 versus going into the store and buying them for $15. And it gets expensive if you do the whole house. So there's another way to change the whole feel of things up. Upgrade appliances. If you have one that's outdated or even one that's mismatching, find a used one, get it in there, and it can really change the whole entire vibe of the kitchen. Okay, another thing that you can do is make sure that the bathrooms are in tip-top shape. Nobody wants to walk into a bathroom that makes them feel gross. A couple key points here are smells in a bathroom are a really big one. Use some Febreze, use a candle, make sure that it smells good in there. Refinish. You don't have to completely redo the bathroom. Save that for your next home if you're selling a home. What you can do though is, again, fix it up and make it what they want to come in, because sometimes people are going to buy and want to redo it anyway. Mm-hmm. So you just need to get away from that gross feel or the used feel. You can redo the grout, you can clean the grout, you can redo the caulking in the bathroom. That's very cheap, a little time consuming, but pretty cheap overall. You can use those scour sticks, you can clean off your sinks. If it's porcelain, you can clean off your toilets. You can just really kind of, bring things back to life in the bathroom when they're kind of gone. So that's a big thing that you can do. And also one thing that you can redo is reglaze the tub. That's something that, I learned just recently, and it's like you don't want to pull it out there, you don't want to put the new lining, you don't want to have to redo all the caulk, you don't want to have to potentially break tile. So that's a really great way, and the tub is a big point. Even though it's low and most of the time you walk in, your eyes stay up, the tub is what somebody looks at. It really brings their eye to the bathroom.
So something else is people will stumble over carpet ripples, because sometimes carpet will bubble after it wears and it stretches itself out a little bit. It's not hard to restretch carpet. It really isn't. Your realtor should know a carpet guy. If not, I know one. I happen to be married to one. So let us know and we'll send one your way. But yes, restretch the carpet so it's flat. It's really that simple. But if there's a bubble in it, people start thinking, oh, the carpet needs to be replaced. It's worn, it's used. But if you can stretch it out, it costs you almost nothing and it looks a lot better.
If you can, hire someone to clean them. I think that's a big one. Get your carpets clean. Not only will it pull some smells out that maybe you're used to, also it will just really give it that clean smell, because when they deep clean them, you can shampoo them, have them done, whatever. It really, I don't know, it's like a washing machine, right? Like you can rinse off a shirt and it's not going to be that great, or you can vacuum off the carpet and it is a little more clean. But when you throw it in the washing machine and it actually gets the job done and cleans it and moves around and, is moved between soap and all that stuff, it comes out smelling nice.
It dries softer.
Yeah, it's a different feel. So that's something that I'm going to add to there, is not just the stretching the carpet, but making sure the carpets are freshened up.
Right. And if any of this is seeming like too much, or it's overwhelming, or you don't know where to start, something that I offer my clients, I offer a whole house clean for them right before we do listing photos, so the whole thing sparkles. And we try to do that really close to the date that we're actually listing it. And sometimes I will even put my clients up in a hotel for the weekend so they don't have to worry about cooking in the house or keeping the dog prints off the floor or anything like that. So talk to your agent, really make a good plan for like making it show ready, getting the photos ready, and then how do we keep it that way so that we really can get the best bang for our buck for the whole process here.
I think I have one more question as a seller, and this is great information, but what would you tackle first if you were listing a house? And I know that's going to be situational based off of each person, going to have a little bit different, but what would be the first or the first 2 or 3 steps that we should take to get our house ready to sell?
Very first thing is to start packing, because that will help you declutter and clean, and you will get rid of a bunch of stuff, and really like that's the sweet spot. Once you get all of the stuff out that you aren't going to need to live with while you stay in the home, that decluttering thing is the best thing you can do. And then clean it so it all sparkles inside, and then work on the yard, and then I think come back in and do the finishing touches inside afterward.
Okay, so I've got start packing, clean so it sparkles, then work on curb appeal. Alright guys, so that pretty much wraps it up for today's video on things you can do as a seller to get prepared to sell your home. But if you are a buyer and you want to see other videos, or even if you're a seller and want to see other videos, make sure to click on one of these 2 videos right here, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.